Okay, now we're going to look at the 1, 4, 2, 5 with some borrowed chords. Technically, you can still get some of these chords out of unique scales and stuff. We're not going to think like that. We're going to just kind of do this with the traditional borrowed thinking from like parallel minor, or the flat 2, for instance, could be considered borrowed from, or like the Neapolitan 6 chord. It's still a flat 2. In first inversion. So don't think too hard on this. So there's 1 minor 4, diminished 2, 5. That's a very common progression. 4, flat 2, 5. That's also common. So we're just going to look for well, let me just play through that combo first with the now with the flat 2. So it has a really nice sound to it, and of course you want to learn this in every key. Don't prefer any one key. So I'll just do the same combo. So a little memorization exercise you can do is just go around clockwise to circle the fifths, and just pivot off the 5 chord every time. 4, borrowed 2, 5, new 1, borrowed 4, borrowed 2, 5, new 1, and just keep doing that one. So, and then just from A you keep going. That's your new pivot point. E, you knew 1, 4, 2, 5. I'm not saying borrowed because it just takes on 1, 4, 2, 5. And you just keep repeating this around. I'm just going to stop there. So you eventually end up back at C. So you could take the same exact sequence and use the flat 2. Pivot as your new 1, flat 2, flat 2, 5, now your new 1, and you just go around until you reach C again. So good exercise to practice. So I'm going to show you some tricks when dealing with sevenths, chords and stuff. Like on the borrowed 4, you got that major 7th, so go ahead and use the flat 7. It's actually kind of a cool sound. If we go, it's a very nice sound. And you could use the 2 half diminished and then a regular dominant 7th on the 5. You could get a nice sequence like a C major 7th, F minor 7th, D half diminished, G dominant 7th. So it's still 1, 4, 2, 5. I'm just showing you tricks with 7th chords. So let's do this as a musically. So it has a very pleasant sound. So let's do that same sequence. Okay, the first time, and then the second time using the flat 2 with a major 7th. And it'll have a little bit of a dramatic effect depending on how you execute it. So let's do the same thing. And this will actually produce a nicer ending for it. Okay, so let me do the same thing, but with inversions in the lowest end. well, the same sequences. It wasn't, some weren't sevenths, so we're basically just doing a 1 first inversion, and then the borrowed 4 with the flat 7 in the bass, 2, 5 with the third in the bass, 1 with the third in the bass, borrowed 4 with the flat 7, flat 2, 5 with the third in the bass, 1. So let's use that chain below, and we'll just create a harmonic chain. 1, borrowed 4, 2, 5, which is our new 1. Okay, so I'm using that same formula below, except making it musical. We could do it with the flat 2 as well, and this will actually come back kind of cool. Flat 2, 5, new 1, flat 2. Well, let's end it. So like with any chain, you eventually want to end it or break out because it becomes boring, but this is the simplified version. Just all 1, 4, 2, 5, flat 2, 1 borrowed 4, flat 2, 5. So this is just basically giving you more options for 1, 4, 2, 5 than with borrowing from parallel minor or different modes like the flat 2 or whatnot. That's a very common borrow. You could even use the minor 5 if you really wanted to. It probably wouldn't flow as well with the diminished 2, but you know, give it a try. So I never say never with anything. So let's move on to the next video.